address the different situations from which flickering arises, we've developed a suite of plugins, each addressing a specific flickering issue: high speed, time-lapse, and auto levels. They were named this way to help you remember which one to use for the type of capture you intend to process. In this tutorial, I will first explain the problem and then show you how DEFlicker High-speed is used to solve some of these issues. You can check the DEFlicker series for tutorials on the other plugins in the suite. Let's look at a few clips that exhibit a flickering issue. Some of you are familiar with this issue and know why it's happening. For those of you who are not, I'll explain. It's not your camera, it's the principles of optics at work. Flickering is essentially caused by lack of synchronization between the camera read rate, or shutter open-close for global shutters, and lighting technology. Depending on the light source, flickering can vary from almost no light on a frame to a small modulation every 4 frames. The process is further complicated by multiple light sources, which are common in outdoor night locations and indoor setups. In addition, at large venues, electricity typically flows to lighting setups over different electrical phases, resulting in luminance that can vary per frame. Now let's take a specific example and see how DEFlicker High-speed can reduce or get rid of the flicker completely. Inside After Effects, you can see that our footage is 240 frames per second. Since After Effects comps max at 99 frames per second, we need to take an extra step in order for After Effects to recognize each of these frames. We need to first interpret the footage to the frame rate that we will be working in on our timeline. In this case, we will interpret the footage to 23.976 frames per second. Also, make sure your RAM preview is set to the same rate. Okay, now let's play back this footage and see that it's flickering as I described earlier, where it's shot at a sports facility and the lights are on 3-phase power and it's shot at high speed. We can simply start a new project and add DEFlicker High-speed. By default, you can see how well it works, and with just a few tweaks, we can get great results. The time window is set to 2 by default, and it's comparing 2 adjacent frames before and after the current frame. We can choose the method. In this case, we would want to use the noise clean method because this shot has a lot of noise. You can see by comparison, if we have a shot like this without noise, we would use the color transfer method because it preserves the inherent noise. The max change percentage is the percentage that each pixel is allowed to change, where 0 means it doesn't change at all. I'll change that to 10. So you can see we have a much better result now with DEFlicker High-speed almost at the default settings. We will cover some of the other settings in another tutorial.